Hi, this is Carl the Cobra Frutch, and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Faisal Khan for Lights Out, proudly sponsored by Spartans Law. With me via Zoom, I'm delighted to be joined by Spencer Knowledge Fearon. Spencer, first of all, thank you very much for taking your time out to speak to us today. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, bro. I'm really, really good. Even better for speaking to you.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Spencer, look, I know you just said that we've not got a lot of time, so I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm going to kind of like mix it all into one. Within the last few weeks, we've had Amir Khan fail a drugs test. We've still got no sort of confirmation of what's going on next with Benn. We've had the disappointment of the Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk fight falling through. A lot of negatives rather than a lot of positives. What have you made of how boxing's been panning out over sort of the last sort of 2 to 4 weeks?
How it's panning out? We've got Javonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia.
We was going to that, but yes.
Okay then. So do you know what I mean? That as far as I'm concerned, that's potentially one of the fights of the year. And when it comes to hype and glitz and glads, that's the biggest fight out there, right? And that fight is happening right now. So no, I haven't got anything to worry about. You know, we've got Devin Haney defending his undisputed world lightweight crown against Vasily Lomachenko. So no, so I've got nothing for me to sit down and feel bad about at all. So there are some great fights that are there right now that, as far as I'm concerned, of anything that's been negative, there's far more positives that I can look at right now, where I'm seeing two young men in Tank and in Garcia who are pitting their skills to go up against each other, where we don't really see things like that happening in today's society in boxing, because everyone's trying to take this mayor of a blueprint and say, well, I'll fight the baddest guy out there, but I'll fight him when he's over the hill, like what Mayweather did with Pacquiao, but Mayweather himself was over the hill. So no, so I can't focus on that which people are seeming as being negative. I can only look at the positives, and I'm seeing some great things happening right now in the sport. So I can't go by that. You know what I mean? Even like on tonight, you got Zhang versus Joyce. That's a big fight, risky fight. That is, you know what I mean? The Joyce ain't Joyce, your Jollof Joe, as Babatunde Ajay has renamed him on the fighters, right? He's taking this is a dangerous fight for him. Still think Joe's gonna come back victorious by the time this goes out. I still got Joe winning 10th or 11th round stoppage, but there is something inside me that says, you know what? Zhang could most probably outpoint him because he's a southpaw, because he's big. You know, but yeah, so it's a great fight.
Okay, fair enough. Definitely a great fight to look forward to tonight, and it is against a very good opponent in Zhang. Very impressive in his last fight against Felipe Hergovich.
He won that fight.
Yeah, a lot of people have him down as winning that fight. I had it as a decision that was the wrong decision, but nonetheless, it is boxing. These things,
right,
fortunately, do happen. But a lot of people expect Joyce to win tonight. And would you say that the sort of next path for Joyce, if he does get the win tonight, will be a fight with Tyson Fury? Or do you think Tyson Fury perhaps will maybe look at going down another route?
I would like that fight to happen next for Joyce, but you know, there's all this talk about the potentiality of this tournament going on in Saudi Arabia with Skill Challenge. Where Prince Khalid's put together, Derek Chisora is involved in that somewhere down the line. Or so I think if that, I'd rather see that go ahead than to see Joyce fight. But Joyce does deserve to fight for a world title. Joyce is he's excellent. I mean, he's a very, very good fighter.
As you just mentioned, obviously there has been talks of that tournament in Saudi Arabia, which Skill Challenge Promotions are looking to sort of put together. As days have gone by since it was first mentioned by Simon Jordan on TalkSport, a lot more people have sort of taken the interest to it, and a lot more people are for it. But given the fact that we've not seen the big fights happen at heavyweight yet between the sort of top 4 or 5 contenders, can you honestly see that tournament happening at the end of December this year?
I can. I've said it before. It was in 1986. You had the HBO tournament with Don King put together, right? Where you had Larry Holmes, you had Larry Holmes, Michael Spinks, Pinkland Thomas, Trevor Burbeck, Tim Witherspoon, Bone Crusher Smith, and some young kid from from Brownsville. Oh, Mike Tyson. He was in it as well, right? So, yeah, but he was just a kid and he was expected to win. I remember when that was going on, the person that everybody expected to win that tournament was actually Tim Witherspoon. Tim Witherspoon was the favorite to go in to win that. I remember the great former lightweight champion in Jim Watt, and he used to do the ITV. I was only a kid then. I'd come out, wake up early in the morning to watch these things. And he was saying like the favorite that he had was Tim Witherspoon to win it. So it didn't turn out that way. Witherspoon got obliterated by Bone Crusher Smith. But yeah, that was, yeah. So I could see something like this happening. And Saudi Arabia has the pulling power and the finances to make something like this happen. So I would like to see it happen. I really would.
Well, a lot of people I've spoken to, especially professional boxers, they've claimed that Tyson Fury could be a problem because they claim that Tyson Fury is not a guy that sort of likes to be tied down and ruled by others, and he doesn't want to be controlled. However, it is a tournament, so there is a process that would have to be followed. Do you think that Tyson Fury will look to entertain something like this because he is a man that sort of likes to create his own path and likes to sort of, have the ball in his corner, which we've seen over the last few weeks?
Well, the thing about it is this, that Saudis, they're not stupid. You know what I mean? So I believe that they would give Tyson Fury a proper deal. School challenge, the people behind it. You know what I mean? Big up Team Abdullah. They're not silly people. The people behind it, they know boxing. So I could see this definitely happening. I really could see it happening.
Spencer, if the tournament does happen, which we all want to see it happen, Usyk.
I'm going. That's what I'm going. I'm there. 1,000,000%. I don't even have to go on a working capacity or anything else, but I'll be definitely going to that.
Well, the four contenders will be Fury, Usyk, the two current champions, Wilder and Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
Who wins this tournament?
Who wins the tournament? The man that's best prepared.
Okay,
that's how I got to say it. You know, obviously Tyson Fury would be the favorite to go in this tournament, but you don't know if you could punch like Deontay Wilder can punch, and you can see the things that he's doing with Malik Scott. He's working on certain techniques to set up that right hand even more, and sometimes disguise that right hand so he can come back and throw back his left hook. Anthony Joshua is trying to rebuild himself, but maybe something like this, which would Anthony Joshua be very fearful in going in a competition like this, would bring out the best of Anthony Joshua, meaning like, right, I have to go for this thing. Like, trust me, I'll have to go for it. Alexander Usyk, being the technical wizard that he is, and he is a technical wizard, let's call it as it is. Technically, he's very, very sound. And mentally, he's very sound. He's on point. He equals anyone's problems. He can most probably outpoint anybody. And you could give Tyson Fury a hell of a run, even though there's a massive size difference, right? So, yeah, these are the things which you don't know. This is heavyweight boxing. There is not. It's like there's an overall dominating champion in Tyson Fury, but then let's be real. Who has Tyson Fury fought on his resume?
Deontay Wilder, Vladimir Klitschko, Dillian White.
Who has he fought? I'm just gonna be real. Like, who's he fought? I'm not knocking any of his opponents or anything else like that. We give Tyson Fury all the credit in the world for taking on Deontay Wilder at a time where Deontay Wilder gave him a shot and he came and did his work. But there hasn't, the heavyweight division right now, it hasn't been like an overall dominating guy where you think, nah, well, nobody can beat him. Every one of the heavyweights out there right now is beatable. But Tyson Fury technically is above all the rest of the guys because he's so big and he's got the technical prowess. That's the difference. He's a big dude.
Okay, Spencer, final one before I let you go, because I know we've got a sort of time limit, unfortunately.
No, you can continue, man. I'm in flow now. Don't worry about it.
It's Ramadan, and I don't want to obviously take up too much of your time. I'm pretty sure
Bro, Ramadan don't mean, seriously, I'm going to be real with you, yeah? Anybody using Ramadan as an excuse to rush around and do this or to be, you're not really looking at the real essence of what Ramadan is. You know what I mean? Ramadan is the only thing that has been prescribed to you to do for your Lord. As with Muslims around the world, this is the only thing that's been prescribed to you to do for your Lord. Everything else you're doing for yourself to grant yourself paradise. You know what I mean? And everything that you're doing at this time now, you're doing everything for the hereafter. This is the only thing that you're doing for your Lord, because it's been prescribed for you to do it, and it is 1/5 of the pillar of Islam. So that is it. So when people make excuses about how difficult it is, especially if you're able-bodied, if you're fit, if you're healthy, if you're all of these kind of things, then you've got no excuse whatsoever not to participate in Ramadan. None whatsoever. And then also, you haven't got no right to complain. Reason why, if you got a roof over your head, which I do, I've got a really beautiful roof over my head. You know what I mean? I've got food in the fridge, and I've got health and strength. I know where my next meal is coming from. I woke up healthy and strong. I've got no excuse not to participate in Ramadan. So this is a key thing. I know why I'm doing the fast. And the next thing, I'm seeing a lot of Muslims, right? They fast. They're fasting, but they're not praying. What's that all about? You know what I mean? So know this part here, that also another 1/5 of the pillar of Islam is the prayer, right? So if you're fasting but you're not praying, then that's void. That's a waste of time. You know what I mean? And if you're praying and you're not fasting, that's void. It's a waste of time. Unless there are certain stipulations why you can't. So I'm just keeping this thing 100. And I'm not being holier than thou Muslim or blah, 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 or all the rest of it. But what I do know is this. You know what I mean? Being subservient to a creator gives you an alignment of dedication, gives you an alignment of discipline. I like to live in that alignment of discipline. And when you do that, and you put Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first, you can never come second. Right? This is not no Islamic Quranic bashing right now, all the rest of it. No, I'm just telling you what it is. I take this thing very, very serious.
Fair enough. No, I respect that, Spence. Obviously, it's a month of Ramadan. We all should be doing as much as possible. And no, fully, totally, 100% agree with you. Spence,
Alhamdulillah.
as I mentioned at the start of the interview, we had a situation with Amir Khan. I mean, I know it's coming up to a couple of weeks now, but yeah, what did you make of Amir Khan failing a drug test? But more importantly, what was your thoughts on the whole situation coming out a year later after the fight with Kell Brook?
You know what? There isn't no fault, because am I going to really sit down and think though Amir Khan is a drug cheat? I know Amir quite well. No, I don't think Amir Khan's a drug cheat, right? I don't. You know what I mean? And what was found inside of him, and on the independent report that came out also was saying like it was so minute that they don't believe that he was taking anything to enhance his performance, right? So, and I'm going to roll with that, and that's where I leave it. I'm not going to take it any further than that. I'm just rolling with that. I don't believe that Amir Khan is a guilty being at all. I don't. And he took the drugs. If he did take the drugs to enhance him, it didn't enhance him that much because you got beat comprehensively by Kell Brook. Not saying, well, if I lose, no. I'm saying he still lost, right? But I'm also saying I don't believe that Amir Khan is a drug treat at all.
As you mentioned,
I mean, he may have been a cheat in the past with certain things with him and his wife's business, but I'm just trying to say to you, I don't think that Amir Khan is a drugs cheat.
Okay, as you mentioned, we've got a massive mega showdown to look forward to next week between two great undefeated fighters in the lightweight division, between Javonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. I mean, throughout the years, I've been blessed to watch your show, the Toe to Toe podcast, and I love the way you analyze these fights. So break it down for us. What will Tank bring on the night, but what will Garcia look to bring on the night? Because this is arguably probably the biggest fight of their career so far. Two undefeated fighters going at it. It's exactly what the fight fans want to see. Just break it down for us if you can, please, Spence.
Well, the better breakdowns now are on the Fight Is Right with myself and Babatunde Ajay on the Stamina for Sale channel. But yeah, I mean, the Sky days, that's 3 years ago now. I haven't been on Sky for like 3 years, coming up 3 years. So it's been a hot minute right now. And no one don't watch Toe to Toe no more. That's the truth. I'm not even being just being real. You got rid of the wrong guy. I would see it. Tank being a southpaw, he has to negate the hand speed. He has to negate the hand speed of Garcia, and in order to do that, he's got to use timing. And if you look at him, he's very, very well timed. And Garcia doesn't just have a left hook. He emphasizes a lot on the left hook because he really puts the power on his front leg so he can throw over the left hook. But he's not just a left hook fighter. You know what I mean? He's got a very good right hand. He's got a very good right hook to the body. And in dealing with southpaws, when you are, loads of people like to talk about, oh, well, throw the right hand. It's not. The key shot for a southpaw is actually a left hook because of how they're positioned. Where a southpaw stands, a southpaw is in alignment to get hit by a left hook. And when you're dealing with that speed, that quickness that Ryan Garcia possesses, and he's got very long arms compared to Tank. Tank is a shorter of the two. Tank has to pivot in punching range by kind of like dipping over to his left side. And he dips over, he's gonna have to throw his right hook and dip over, then he can throw his left hand straight down the middle and I think that's going to be a key shot in kind of catching a right hook straight left hand power shot to catch Ryan Garcia. He's going to have to get into punching range, and if he gets into punching range, Ryan Garcia is going to have to fight, and by that time I think the inside work which can be demonstrated by Tank will be the telling factor, because Tank's very, very strong. Ryan Garcia is strong, but Tank is very, very strong. And I think I see this going late. I can see Ryan Garcia actually being ahead on points, but then getting stopped around 8 or 9 rounds.
You also mentioned another great fight in that division between the undisputed champion Devin Haney and Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, a lot of people that I've spoken to have said that Vasyl Lomachenko kind of might be getting to sort of like the final stages of his career, and Devin Haney might have caught him at the right time, but you still have to look at his amateur background and what he's achieved as a professional fighter as well. Would you say that this is going to be Haney's toughest test, or would you think he's sort of caught Lomachenko at the right time in his career?
I don't think he's caught Lomachenko at the right time. For me to be real with you, I'm looking at this. I think that what Haney brings right now is like, you know, like you got to put some respect on a kid's name. He beat George Kambosos. George Kambosos subsequently beat Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez subsequently beat Lomachenko, and he did beat Lomachenko. What I've noticed is this inside boxing is that people will get gassed by things that they have not really seen before. So they'll go crazy about, oh, the magnificence of Lomachenko. Don't get twisted. Lomachenko is bloody incredible. But he ain't showed me nothing that Pernell Whitaker never used to show me. Right? Nothing. But what I noticed is this. When a European fighter does it, then everyone's like, oh my goodness gracious, wow. And I'm saying up a second, I've seen this is not, you know what I mean? It's not like I ain't seen this before. You know what I mean? In fact, I've seen it better than what you've done before. So no, I'm not going to get overly gassed on Lomachenko. He's excellent. You know, you can't have 315 amateur fights and lose one.
I think it was
right. That's still nuts. That's nuts. That's ridiculous, right? But I think the amateurs has also taken its toll on him. And then also, you're still going in with seasoned professional fighters. And yes, Lomachenko is good. But the time when I realized that Lomachenko isn't as great as what we expected is when I saw Luke Campbell kind of showed him up for me. Seriously, Luke Campbell made me realize that, you know what, this man's very, very beatable, right? I'm not even talking about he was his second pro fight when he lost to Salida. I'm not even going by that. But I'm looking at that and I'm saying to myself, off of the back of that, like, you know, and Devin Haney throws an immense amount of punches. Devin Haney's been groomed in this sport, but because how Devin Haney's been brought into the game, people weren't putting the respect on his name. And I think he's been groomed for his position. And I can see Devin Haney comprehensively outpointing Lomachenko. And I mean comprehensively outpointing him. I think it's going to take him 2 rounds for him to go find himself, but I think he's going to be too quick. He's going to be too fast. And I think he's going to hit too hard for Lomachenko. He's groomed for this position, and I've got him winning this fight on a landslide on points.
Spencer, I remember a couple of years ago, the first ever time I interviewed you was at Spitalfields Market for the Tony Bellew and David Hay weigh-in. I remember one of the things that you said to me, because I asked you about Amir Khan versus Kell Brook at that time, and you said one of the things that really irritates you about boxing is when fights get dragged on for too long. Now, there are rumors going around on Twitter that we could get an announcement on the night of Tank versus Garcia, is that we could get the announcement for an undisputed clash between Terence, Crawford, and Errol Spence Jr. for the 147-pound undisputed welterweight championship of the world. And that's another great fight people want to see. But again, it's a fight that you could say should have happened a couple of years ago.
It should have. I was speaking about this fight 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was speaking about this fight. Right, a lot's been going on because we have been caught in like this Marvel comic blip because we had COVID and it's kind of messed up things. Our dates got all twisted and that. But we've waited 5 years. I hope that they do and make the announcement for that fight. I hope that fight does happen. I believe that fight needs to happen. It really does. It needs to happen because it's dragging out. It's getting boring. And like anything that has been shown by Tank Davis taking on Ryan Garcia, showing like, well, listen, I'll fight you now. I'm going to fight you years down the line. I'm going to fight you right now.
One final one, Spence, before I let you go. Again, more rumors online, and these are just rumors. We understand that Manny Pacquiao's team have accepted an offer to fight Conor Benn. Manny Pacquiao, I believe, is 44 years old right now. 8th division world champion, a boxing legend. He retired after the defeat to Yordenis Ugas. Conor Benn's a younger fighter. Is this a fight that Manny Pacquiao should really be looking to entertain, or would you want to see him retired?
It's levels in this game, so I think maybe I would like to see that fight. Seriously, I would like to see that fight because there's something in me knowing like you go to fight Manny Pacquiao, no matter how old he is, Manny Pacquiao was born to fight. You come to fight him. If you try to box him, the Ugas' style, I predicted Ugas to beat him as well, right? Being that tall southpaw, I would say that it wouldn't be an easy fight for Conor Benn because there's still levels in it. And regardless of how old Manny Pacquiao is right now, Manny Pacquiao, he's still a top tier welterweight. He still is. I'm going to be real with you. He's still top tier, right? But maybe him, like, it's kind of similar to like, if we used to go back to 1989, sorry, tell a lie, 1990, it was rumored that Sugar Ray Leonard was going to fight Nigel Benn. It was rumored that was the fight that they was trying to make happen. And a lot of people think, well, Leonard was at the tail end of his career then. He just had a lackluster performance against Roberto Duran in their trilogy in December of '89. And everyone was thinking, well, you know what? He got in June of that year as well. He got knocked down twice against Tommy Hearns. It was very, very fortunate to get a draw. So he was looking and saying, well, Leonard's at the tail end of his career. He's kind of done. And would it be an advisable thing for him to go in with somebody like a Nigel Benn, who at the time I reckon was quicker and certainly punched harder than him? The fight didn't happen. And I'm actually glad that the fight didn't happen because maybe at that time then Nigel Benn could have been a bit too fresh for him. With this time here, with Conor Benn hasn't had that experience to say that I'm going to get up and go fight someone like a Manny Pacquiao. But I hope that fight does get made simply because styles make fights. And could Conor Benn have competed with Manny Pacquiao a few years ago? No, he couldn't. But right now, it could be the right time. And I think with all the allegations against Conor Benn and him trying to clear his name and all the rest of it, this would be something big. So yeah, if that fight was to be announced, I would tune in for it.
Okay, Spencer, before we let you go, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, nothing. What I want to say is give my salams to all my Muslim brothers and sisters around the world. And I want people to realize when you put Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first, you can never come second. And I'm saying one of the attributes in the 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of God, is Ar-Rafi. And Ar-Rafi meaning the sublime. And I would say to anyone, if you're going through anything, repeat this name Ar-Rafi 100 times in the morning and repeat RFE 100 times at night before you go to bed and see your progress. I guarantee you, I guarantee you it will change things for you. Assalamu alaikum, warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Islam. Spencer, Fearon, thank you very much for your time. A pleasure as always. I look forward to seeing you hopefully soon, and thank you very much for talking to Lights Out. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Come on, man. Big up Lights Out, man. I know you got the name from James Toney, but big up. All right, love.
Thank you very much. Spencer.